Yeah, that's great. And then you follow that up with an event called Digging In, I understand.
The dig in. We do the dig in twice a year. We do it in the spring and in the fall. And the dig in dates this year are March 1st, 2nd, 8th, 29th, and 30th.
Okay.
And what happens, and this is really what our program is, what happens is volunteers meet in the morning of the dig-in right around 9 o'clock, and then we divide up into teams. Each team is led by a dig-in leader, and they go all over town, and they either replant gardens that are already existing or they'll build new gardens. And we'll do about between 50 and 60 gardens all over town this spring.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
50 or 60 gardens, that's really significant. And again, I think a wonderful gift to these individuals in the community as a whole. Let's talk more specifically about gardening for a little bit. Now, what are some of the crops that are, I think it's great that you have this audience of folks, a lot of whom are not gardeners, I'm assuming. And you really get them going, you get them growing in a very real sense. And that's often what I think about our audience. We have a lot of people who are very enthusiastic, who are new to this. What are some of the surefire summer crops that you work with?
Well, tomatoes are the big one. Everyone wants homegrown tomatoes, I think. But peppers, eggplant, beans, squash. Most people, when they think of gardening, they think of all the summer crops.
Sure.
Herbs.
They get excited about those herbs, yeah.
Basil. You can never have enough basil in your garden.
Cilantro is very popular.
All of these things are the things that you help put in and help them grow. And then the food is harvested and used by the families themselves. And you also, but you do also do some community gardens, like at schools and things like that.
We do some community gardens in schools and a few other community centers, but they're still all very small. The idea of biointensive gardening is to get the most amount of vegetables out of a very small space.
Okay.
So it's all about bed preparation.
Okay.
So it's all about double digging.
Double digging. Well, soil prep
digging
is, any gardener who's been at it for a while knows that soil prep is the whole thing. Now, you use this phrase, double digging. What does that mean? Because I know a lot of folks in our audience don't know, they've never heard that phrase.
It's a method of getting really deep, loose, good soil in a particular place. And it is fairly labor intensive. That's where all the great volunteers come in. But basically it involves digging down about a full spade's length.
About 16 or 18 inches?
Well, about 12 inches. Taking that soil out temporarily, the soil under that, loosening it up really well with a garden fork, ideally another 12 inches. You loosen it up down there, and then putting that soil that you just remove back in. So it's hard to achieve the first time you do, particularly in a lot of areas in Austin where you don't go down very far before you hit caliche or a rock. But
you can use a pickaxe in some of these places.
We have.
Yeah, we have.
But over time, season after season, if you continue to loosen up the soil and add compost and work it, you do get great soil. And we've had really great results with it without having to spend a lot on fertilizer or inputs or anything like that.
They call it the lazy bed. The biointensive bed is called the lazy bed because you prepare the soil so well that it's basically like a sponge. So the plants grow, and then they're spaced in such a way that you don't really have to weed. So it's I think that's a big reason why our gardeners are so successful, because it doesn't require that much daily maintenance.
Okay, that's great. So you help people with these events, and you get the plants in the ground. And then what are some of the other things that take place during the course of the year? I understand that you help people learn about organic care all the way through the seasons. We do. We do workshops twice a year, and we have a workshop scheduled for March 22nd, I believe it is, day before Easter, I think. And that will be led by Amy Crowell, and she was the executive director of Green Corn Project before me. She has a great column in Edible Austin. You got to check it out on foraging. But she'll take it to another level and really kind of talk about some more of the details of organic gardening and the biointensive method and starting seeds and transplants and spacing and companion planting. Right. So if you're interested in learning more about that, she's a great resource, and her workshop is a really good one. Yeah, that sounds like a really wonderful opportunity. And those are all open to the public? That's great. So you know you can be involved as somebody who learns from your efforts, or as a volunteer. And I would assume that you're always hunting for volunteers.
We are always hunting for volunteers, and volunteering during the dig-in is the best way to learn about organic gardening. It's very empowering. Once you do it, you realize, oh, I can do this.
Right. I think it's a breakthrough where, you know, I read about gardening for a long time before I actually ever did anything about gardening.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like I needed to know more. But once I actually participated in something where a garden was dug and plants put in, I thought, hey, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so by participating in a dig-in, a lot of people, I think, have gotten into, or, you know, they tell us they've gotten into gardening after that.
Right.
They passed from being interested in it into being actual gardeners.
Have you found it, Mitch, easy to continue with the organic approach? Have you learned a lot about the sustaining the garden organically through green corn?
I have. One of the neat things is we have gardens all over town, and you know they tend to be concentrated in certain areas, but you see so many different growing conditions and people trying different things. Different amounts of sun, different amounts of water, different plants put in, that I just feel like every time I dig in, I lead dig-ins now, but every garden I see, I learn a little more.
Yeah, it takes doing, which is the wonderful thing about this is to actually see it. You can hear about double digging, you can hear about sustaining a garden organically, but if you help actually do it, then it stays with you. Now, real briefly, how can people be in touch with you?
They can contact me at greencornproject@usa.net. That's probably the best way to get me. You can call us at 249-3171, but please email me if you can. And our website is a great source of information, and it's www.greencornproject.org. greencornproject.org.
Okay, and this is an absolutely unique program to Austin, Texas, so thank you so much for being a part of our community and doing what you're doing and being a part of our show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, congratulations on your 10th anniversary.